um, fear of
Drug
crowns,
addiction.
drug addiction too.
Oh yeah, I get lots of calls for drug addiction.
And the crazy thing about that is when I was in working in mental health, the one time we did sort of cross sections with a hypnotherapist was a client of ours who was on drugs. They told us that in the past they basically went and got it. It was like some program out here where the schools that do it, they went to one of the student practitioners,
Mm-hmm.
and he was just off drugs. And he said,
Yeah,
I saw a hypnotist and it worked. So that's what really, because again, going through the formal training, they pushed us away from that. That was the first time I said, oh no, something about this is real, and it opened me up to come to somebody like you to deal with certain things, you know. So
mm-hmm.
for the people, that's really real when it comes to helping people with drugs. That's dope.
Yeah, drugs ruin entire families and lives. So to be able to work with that, now depending on what they're on, I have to act accordingly. If someone is on heroin, I'm going to titrate them down, right? Certain things you can't just stop.
Mm-hmm.
If it's alcoholism and it's a lot of alcohol that's being consumed daily, you can't just pull that off immediately. I'll titrate them down. So I'll take them to half of what they were drinking. Let
Okay.
them settle there for a while and then bring them down again to a quarter and then all the way off.
See, yeah,
Because I'm not looking for lawsuits. I don't
yeah,
want anybody.
yeah.
I used to do hypnobirthing.
What's that?
That is when a woman she goes into self-hypnosis, which I train her to do when she goes into labor so that she can reduce or completely eliminate the labor pains. So I stopped doing that and that's how I got into hypnosis, because I was in labor and I had almost a panic attack and I thought, I cannot do this again. It was horrible the first time. I cannot take that pain. I'm going to die. I just know I'm going to die. And I got myself, like, I was all worked up and really like stressed about the whole thing. And I was living in New York at the time. I opened up the Yellow Pages, found someone that could take me right away, and he was awful and it
Mm.
didn't work. And my second labor was actually worse than the first.
Wow.
So that was 1988.
Mm-hmm.
Then moving forward, I'm living in Canada and I saw that teaching at the University of Toronto. And I thought, that guy was no good, but I know it's real. I knew
Mm-hmm.
that it was real. I had never seen a live show or anything like that, but I just knew it was real. So I thought, let me go check this out. And I did. And it was just very natural. It was a very natural fit for me.
Yeah, I
Very,
can tell
very
by the way you do
natural.
it, it's a natural fit. I have a question from the chat room. Someone asked, "Do your patients have strong will? Like, basically do you have issues when people have very strong will?
I like
Is
them.
it
Yeah,
good
the
for
strong-willed
everyone?
people. Those are the ones that I have to take them down hard. Yeah. Strong will means not. And it's funny. People think that strong will is actually something that prevents it. What prevents you from going under is not wanting to go under or not trusting the person who's taking you under.
Okay. So,
Um,
okay.
so I'll tell you who you would think, people that you would think wouldn't be good that are actually amazing subjects: cops, military people, professional athletes. And I do a lot of professional athletes with hypnosis. Just clarifying, with hypnosis.
Yeah.
No other way.
Hey, well then I'm gonna need you to call somebody that knows LeBron James so you can put him under so he can make his free
I don't
throws
know
at the
who
end of
knows
big games
LeBron.
because as great as he is, he seemed to just throw the ball out of bounds when the team needed him the most. So I'm gonna need you to somebody, if y'all know LeBron James out there, hit him up so he can get in contact with her because we gonna need him in the clutch with the Lakers, and maybe she can help him with that.
Well, let me just tell you, I don't watch any sports, so when I do athletes, I have to go and do a little research to figure out what it is they're supposed to do because I'm not a sports fan. So I check out what's what with it, and then I'll ask them. So, what do you need to happen?
Okay.
What's your problem? What are your challenges right now? And I do it like that. And I don't know what I'm talking about. I just do it.
Another question is this is a good question. One punchline: do people need faith or believe to be hypnotized?
No, I hypnotize people all the time that don't believe it. I'll tell you a funny story. I was hanging out with a childhood. It turns out I've always thought they were my relatives. You know how we black people, everybody's your cousin, your auntie. You don't know who's who until you're grown. So it turns out he's not actually a blood cousin, but we're family nonetheless. But he told me that he didn't believe in hypnosis, and I was highly insulted. He's a dentist. And I said, "Oh, really? You don't?" So I said, "Lay down." And I proceeded to put him under. And within, I mean, a finger snap, it took no time. He was screaming, "I can't feel my legs. I can't feel bring me up, bring me up." And I was just like, wow. Like, he was the fastest person I've ever put under. I wasn't even trying to put him under yet. But he must have believed it. Subconsciously, he was just being a jerk saying he didn't believe in it because clearly by his response, he had a whole lot of belief in it.
See,
and I was like, "So do you believe now?" He says, "Yes, yes." I said, "Okay. I guess I'll bring you back up now."
Question then. So I've seen hypnotists like on shows do things like people like they make them jump around on stage like a monkey or something like that. You can actually do that?
Well, I always talked a lot of crap about stage hypnotists and how they ruin our reputation, with clinical hypnotherapy. And then 2 years ago, I guess it was, I think it was 2 years ago in the summer, I did 2 stage shows. I was scared to death.
How did that go?
Is it going to work? It did. Oh, it was great. I had a guy on stage. I made the participants. I regressed them to nursery school, and they were doing Ring Around the Rosie and all kinds of stuff, being toddlers. And then one of the guys who I saw was really like he was gone, and I said, "Oh, I think you pooped your diaper." And his lip shook and fluttered. And I felt so bad. And I said, "Okay. Oh, no. It was just a little gas. It's okay. It's okay. It wasn't you."
That's
funny. I never want to hurt anybody except for my cousin who told me he didn't believe in it. But you never want to hurt anybody or upset them. So when I saw just how upset he was, I had to pull him right back up out of it. No, it wasn't. I didn't pull him out of it, but I let him know, no, it wasn't you. It was somebody else.
See, that's dope.
We did a roller coaster, and it was so funny because I was in the front in their minds, and we were going up, 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 and they started going further back and further back and further back. And then we were going all through, and they threw their hands up in the air. They were like scared. It was fun. There was all kinds of stuff going on. It was fun. But I like clinical hypnosis, but that stage thing, I don't need all that stress in my life.
Yeah.
I'm not even comfortable on camera with you right now, so.
I get it. You've been a recluse most of this time. Now you, like King Simon said, you out in the public. For those,
he dragged me out.
For those of you watching and you want more information and you want to get a session, Kendall's information is in the description box. So if you go to the description box, you can find what you need to know. Only serious inquiries only. But if you need it or not, for me, my personal recommendation is it's a lot of people out there. You've gone to therapy. You've made improvements in your life. You have made steps, but you're not quite where you want to be. Personally, that's where I recommend you take a session or two or however many you need, because I'm here to tell you, I'm not here to diss one over the other. Everyone has their own journey. Everyone has to do it how they feel it. But if you're feeling the need and you've taken therapy, you like, okay, it hasn't worked the way I want it, give this a try. Because it really does help people break through long-standing issues that you have, that only
Even
you
if
have.
you haven't done any therapy,
Even if
it's
you have
still
it,
good.
yeah. Matter of fact, if you have it, you probably don't want to deal with no therapist, going to see no therapist every day. Just do this and get right to it.
I like to just hit it and quit it.
Yeah.
And my best referrals are people who, they get it done fast. And I don't see anyone more than, I mean, I've had some really tough cases. I deal with agoraphobics. I've dealt with people that haven't left the house in 5 years, and I've
Oh,
had to
wow.
go to their home and do a house call, pre-COVID, of course. Um, people with PTSD. I see veterans, all kinds of people,
That's really
all kinds of
big.
situations.
Yeah, that one, people not leaving the house. I know that's a strong one right there. And for you to help out
That
that,
is rough.
yeah,
That's a rough one.
yeah,
And it was so funny because one woman in particular that I'm thinking about, I spoke about her with King Simon as well. She wanted to adopt children and she couldn't even go overseas. No one in Canada was going to give her children with agoraphobia. She had to go to the office first. They don't do a house visit first. You have to, you know,
yeah,
show up at their office.
yeah.
And all she wanted was some children in the worst kind of way. So yeah, it was really good. Her husband went overseas and got children for them and brought them back, but then she still couldn't take them out. She couldn't go to school with
Mm-hmm.
them. She couldn't do PTA mom things. She could,
Mm-hmm.
she wouldn't leave her house. She wouldn't even step outside of her kitchen. Her children would play in the backyard,
Mm-hmm.
and then she would sit inside the kitchen by the door, but she would not step foot outside. So she really had an awful situation. My heart broke for her, but like it was so fast,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
First time I went to her, second time she came to me, then the third time she came to me from the movie theater after
Mm.
sitting in the dark with her children watching a movie.
That's dope. See,
And
this
she
is
had been on the psychiatrist's couch, you know. Well, I don't even think she didn't go on the couch because she couldn't get there. But, we have telehealth here. So
yeah.
she was working with her psychiatrist on the phone. Still nothing.
That's dope. That's
So
dope to
when you
use
can
them.
have that kind of
Yeah,
movement,
yeah.
and just hit it, it's the way to go.
That's it. Douglas Taylor in the chat room has a question. How does hypnosis work with weight loss?
Oh, fabulous. Fabulous. When you fill out your questionnaire, you put in all your favorite foods that you shouldn't be eating, what
Mm-hmm.
you'd like to eat. People come to me sometimes and they'll say, I want to go keto, I want to follow Weight Watchers, or I want to remove carbs, or, I snack at night. So I also do insomniacs. I
Mm-hmm.
do everything you can imagine. Everything works with hypnosis. And it's fun. Did you find
Yeah,
it fun?
I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
I thought it was fun. Jonathan Robinson in the chat room asks, "Are there any side effects?"
Nope. No.
Yeah.
No side effects. I do stay away from bipolar patients. The medications that bipolar patients take, it's contraindicated with hypnotherapy.
Oh. So if someone's bipolar, they should really watch it. And
Right.
it's mostly because of those medications.
I believe it's because of the medications.
Okay. Yeah, I'm glad you said that. Because there are, everything ain't for everybody, but at the same time, if it is for you, yeah, I would like people to take full advantage, especially if you feel this is for you. Because even if you don't like I just look at some of the movement, that happens, and I know how therapy works, and I know, and like I say, it's good or whatever, but this is different. It's different. And for the
Yeah,
people out
this
there,
is like quick relief.
yeah,
So many people are just looking for relief. They've been through hard times and they've tried lots of things. And when you try and you keep failing, then you start to believe sometimes that there is no help, but there's help.
yeah, there is
There's
help.
definitely help.
There's definitely help because you see it. It can be very discouraging to for those of you out there, if you feel discouraged, and invest in your mental sanity. It really means a lot, as far as, because
Oh, yeah.
along with my book that I have coming out, No Time to Waste, it's a part in that where I talk about the mental health component, because I can give you a self-help guide. You can read this book, you can read that book, you can be inspired by this person, that person, but if you don't believe it internally, and if you don't have internal belief and confidence in that, whatever it is, it's just going to have a hard time working for you. So internal belief is very big, and oftentimes the things that get in the way of internal belief is just stuff that we've never dealt
Well, I'll
with.
tell you, I had a woman that was sent home to die. She had cancer and small children. She was a born again Christian white woman who requested a late night appointment with me because she didn't want anyone in town to see her coming into my office. It's a busy medical clinic
Okay.
that I'm in, right?
Yes.
So she and her husband came in, and even before she came in, when she called me, she told me the whole story. So I said, I need you to find out from your doctor exactly what needs to happen in your body for you to be able to get the treatment.
Mm-hmm.
And she did that. I said, I don't need it to be a whole bunch of medical jargon. I need for you to give me what you understand, because you're the one who's going to make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
So give it to me in plain talk and come back. You'll have your appointment. And she came back that night or the next day. I think it was that night, though. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. But she came in with her husband. He looked like he had just been beaten up by an 800-pound gorilla.
Mm-hmm.
He was devastated, absolutely devastated at her prognosis.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing I said to her after I sent him out of the office is, you can't have him around you when you're doing this work, because when you look at him, he's just pulling at your heartstrings.
Mm-hmm.
I said, that man is suffering, and he's just, from the look on his face, I know he can't clean that up. You're going to need to kick him out of the bedroom, let him bring your trays up. Don't open the door until he's back downstairs, because you have serious work to do. You're about to save your own life. So you don't have time for him right now. You can deal with him after we get the business at hand done. And she said, okay. We did the session. I took the information that she had that was her understanding. So it wasn't very medical. And I slammed her down hard. Like hard. She went down hard. And it was amazing. She went to the doctor a few days later. Her oncologist could not believe that her blood work had changed and she could now have the procedures. I think it was like a bone marrow transplant and then the chemo or something. I really don't remember all the particulars, but I just remember that they sent her home to die. And now she was able to get, what she needed so that she could live and be there for her small children. And this man called me and cussed me up one side and down the other. There was nothing Christian about what he called me. All kinds of quacks and charlatans. I mean, he just went in on me. And I said, I'm so sorry. I'm helping your wife. She's working really hard. He cursed me some more and then he hung up on me.
Did he at
It's all
least
right.
call back and apologize?
He sent me the biggest bouquet of flowers that I have ever received in my whole entire life. And the
Okay.
card and yeah. Oh yeah,
Okay, good.
absolutely. And her oncologist never sent me a single patient ever. And this man knows what went on. Saw it for himself.
See, that's why I like having these interviews, people, because you get information by talking to the people directly. Time and time listen for the cure.
Right. Well, now keep in mind, I'm in Canada, right? So we have socialized medicine. So doctors here don't make what they make in the States.
Mm-hmm.
So the more visits, they will make you come in for the slightest, stupidest little thing that their secretary could just tell you over the phone. They're going to make you come in for an appointment so that they can bill you. Well, not bill you, but bill OHIP, bill the system. They're not in a big rush to pass someone off to me. I remember I was in the diner that was next door to the clinic, and a cardiologist came up to me and he goes, "You're the hypnotherapist. You're in with Dr. Wiley, right?" And I said, "Yeah, I am." He says, "Do you know there is so much talk about you?" Now, we're right a block and a half from the hospital. He says, "There is so much talk about you. You have these doctors absolutely up at arms," because I was doing a lot of smoking cessation back then. This is when people were still smoking.
Yes.
And cigarettes are super expensive here because it's socialized medicine. So because they know that you're going to cost the medical system money down the line with your emphysema, your whatever else you have, your cancer, whatever you get from your heart problems from smoking, they know you're going to cost the system money. So the tax is very high on cigarettes and just the cost of cigarettes is very high. So at the time I was running a commercial, and on the commercial I said, "How much do you spend on cigarettes in a year? What would you do with that money if you didn't smoke any longer? Think about it. Come see me." So the doctors were making money because the patch was out back then.